It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. On the program today, my friends, I am reaching back into the Daily Doug vault to share with you a reaction that I filmed back in June of this year, and we're going back to some more Marillion. Y'all, I know that a bunch of folks have been asking for more music from this band, and we're going to be listening to Easter today from Marillion. I know that it's from Season's End, which was their very first album with Steve Hogarth from back in the day, and I remember very much enjoying it. Like I said, I recorded it for our Patreon community as part of our Fan Favorites series in June. And y'all, our Fan Favorite series is one of my favorite things that has come out of this channel. Over on our Patreon community, we do one video like this a month, and at the beginning of each month, I will put forward a genre or a topic. We've asked folks for their favorite guitar songs, their favorite relationship songs, their favorite diamonds in the rough, or road trip songs, songs that go bump in the night, that sort of thing. And each month we got a whole bunch of submissions, and then we vote on them, and the top submissions and top vote getters make our poll. Well, back in June, I had the idea, we've been doing this for a while. There's a lot of great music that barely missed our countdown videos over these past year and a half. And so we decided to do an entire poll that we called our Second Chance Countdown. And I personally went back and I was looking through all of these songs that had never quite gotten enough votes to get in our video, and said, I'm interested in that one, and that one, and that one, and that. A whole bunch of them. And then we did another round of polling, and I really enjoyed the music that we listened to back in that video. In fact, I have excerpted and shared several from that episode here on YouTube, and today is no exception. Marillion with their song Easter. It was early on in our countdown, and I absolutely loved getting to hear some early Hogarth with the guys from Marillion, and so I am happy to share my reaction to Easter by Marillion with y'all now. Up next is a song from Marillion, and it is called Easter. Now, I have not heard this yet, and some of y'all were surprised that I haven't heard this yet. Marillion is one of the bands that I have really come to enjoy since I've been doing the Daily Doug. I really enjoy their work. Steve Rothery's guitar playing is just sublime, and I really have come to respect Steve Hogarth and his vocals and his lyrics. But going back earlier in their discography is something that I have not really done, with the exception of Misplaced Childhood. Well, this one, Easter, is from their fifth album called Season's End, released in 1989, and it was their first to include Steve as a lead vocalist after Fish departed the band. And apparently Steve had been writing this song in advance of him joining the band, and he brought it to the band, and they produced it for the album. He was inspired to write this by the Troubles that were ongoing in Northern Ireland, as the title is a reference to Easter 1916, a poem by the great Irish poet William Butler Yeats. So I am curious and eager to hear this. I love Marillion's music, and I just can't wait. So here is Easter from Marillion. Off we go. 6, 4. It's another 4-chord song. 4, 5, 6, 2, 3. Compound meter. Wow. His younger voice is quite beautiful. I mean, his older voice is quite beautiful, but this is lovely. Easter here again, a time for the blind to see. surely now can all your hearts be free. Expand a 5 chord again. They're in G, so that's a G chord. Up to D, up to E, down to C. Straight ahead 4 chord song. Over B, the 4, the 5, to 6, that's B, C. All right, Steve. Got such a great touch, doesn't he? One of my favorite guitar players that I didn't know about until doing this. This beautiful melody in all of his solos. There's a suspended fire. That suspension, you can prolong that chord. It resolves susceptibly up to E minor. Awesome. An arrival on 1. It sounds like the 80s, but it still sounds great. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. What will you do? Make a stone of your heart? You set things right. Judgment on these people. It's like, what the hell are you doing? The 2 chord. What will you do with the wire and the gun? Like, what are you doing? These are your countrymen, right? This is an instant favorite, friends. How can you not like this band? I love it. I love it. That 5 section at the end, they kept with it. And I really, really enjoyed that outro. Marillion. I love these guys. I really, really do. They're kind of the best of everything. It's important to remember at the time that this song was written, y'all, the Troubles were still going on. It wasn't until the Good Friday Amendment of 1998 that the 30-year conflict was officially deemed to be over. And although there's a lot of focus on the religious aspect of this, Protestants and Catholics, right? I don't think that it's primarily religious what was going on. I think it's definitely a part of it, but it was more, I think, nationalistic than religious. I don't know a ton about it, y'all, so I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I know that we have some Irish and British folks in the community. I'm curious as to what recollections and stories y'all might have about this time period. I've seen the movie Belfast with Megan, and what a powerful movie that is. It's using that time period, the near the beginning of it, as its setting. And I think it just boils down to whether Ireland would be fully united and autonomous as a nation, or be split with the northern section remaining as a part of the United Kingdom. You know, and how, and it's still that way, right? Northern Ireland is still part of the UK. So, y'all, help me out. That's something that I haven't read a ton about, but I'm definitely interested in, and it makes a really lovely, powerful topic to write a song about. You too with Sunday Bloody Sunday, and there's others, I'm sure, but really, and a powerful topic to write on. Really great. Like I said, y'all, I have really become a fan of Marillion and of Steve Hogarth, and in fact, I had the opportunity to interview Steve last year, and I very much enjoyed that conversation. That was episode number 367, if you'd like to take a look at that one. Like I said, this was Steve's first album with Marillion, and the band's first without former lead singer Fish. Now, of course, I have known about the band's two really charismatic singers, but I haven't ever really read into some of their thoughts around the time of the band's transition. And I found an interview that Steve gave where he talked about some of this, and it's really interesting stuff. He tells a story of being in his publisher's office one day, and he was wondering aloud what he was going to do next in his career. And the manager at that office told him that Marillion was looking for a new singer. And Steve's quote about this was this. He says, "To my mind, what Marillion were doing was really not what I was about. I understood it, and I knew that it had come from early Genesis material, and I knew early Genesis inside and out because I used to go and see them on every tour." And it actually was one of Steve's good friends that convinced him to take a meeting with the guys in Marillion. And Steve goes on to say that he met with the band, and there was no denying that we had a chemistry straight off musically. And I said to them, "What is it you're actually looking for?" And they said, "We've heard what you do, and we like what you do, and we just want you to do that." We'll do what we do, and we'll see what happens. It was proposed to me as an experiment from the word go. They didn't know where it was going, and I didn't know where it was going. If somebody is asking you to be yourself, that's about the best brief you could ever be given. And so that's where it all started. Wow. Really cool, right? And, 34 years, 16 studio albums later, the band is still going strong. In fact, their last 3 albums are just wonderful. That's what I've heard the most, and I'm just starting to get acquainted with their back catalog. Of course, I have heard Misplaced Childhood, but that's about it from their early stuff. So I am sort of going backwards in time through Marillion's discography, and there's a lot of great stuff there. So it was wonderful to share my reaction of Easter by this band from back in the late 80s, and we'll try to get to some more Marillion soon, but that is all for today, friends. I thank you for your support, and we will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.